Yeah. Okay. Mhm. The in the Arhat say in the Shavaka's result. Shavaka's result is non-return. Is Arhat. Non-return means it's like a. Mm, it's like a, you just purified. Or we can just say you are entering in the temple. You are no longer non-return, but you are still to study things. Non-return. There's a process. And then is the arhat means is everything's you've done. All your educations, this thing is finished. And you just relax in the temple doing nothing. That is like kind of arhat. But maybe someone is like you think you studied already finished. I can relax it. But if someone's really to check you, probably there is something you need to study. The reducive, yes, residual, okay, and like there it says like maybe it's like you completed uprooted of the samsaric existence or not. That is the depends. Complete uproot, yes, uprooting of the samsaric existence. That is like a kind of done. Then it's like a reduce or reduce or residuals. This word is very difficult to come into my mind. Residue. Okay, residue left. If there is you not complete uprooting of the samsaric existence, then it's like there is you have the residues. Then it's like residues are hot, and like this. And then of course so afterward we can to say is there are the various methods of the practicing samantha and vipassonams, and bodhisattvas and levers concentrate with the profound instruction where they are gradually approached to the liberations, uh, and this is like more innerly we need to follow up the your individual like kind of the learned or the like spiritual friends listen to the oral instructions, and like this then it's like this is the kind of base that we studied a little bit Shavakas, and then it's Pachika Buddhas, and Pachika Buddhas. We already, generally speaking, there's not very much different, but Pachika Buddhas more emphasize 12 links of the interdependency. And that is like, of course, then the entrance we can to say is maybe it is a renunciation, and this thing is the same, but wrong this the Pachika Buddha is we call the self Buddha, and sometimes you don't follow up the teachers, not rely on the Buddhas, self awaken, and like this, and also it's like they are a little bit more profound wisdom than the Shavakas, and then it's like their own individual wisdoms, and can to make the manifestation their own awakening. Maybe they through the power of on like a kind of the wisdom, and rely on the like kind of we don't need rely on the without rely on the teachers. Maybe for us it's very wonderful, yes, and without teacher and self, then we need to become the rhinoceros, make joke this Pachika Buddhas. Pachika Buddhas also we can choose the according the 9 yanas. It says like also like the how do you say entering point, view, meditation, conduct, result of the Pachika Buddha's yanas. Exactly same in your book. And then it's like the first is like entering point, the entry point to the Shavaka yanas. And it's also is like they need to how do you say of course determined mind, renunciation. Maybe they haven't got much bodhicitta, they concern like a benefit for themselves. I want to be quickly enlightenment, and that is also similarity Shavakas, and also it's like they take the Pachimukta, like a kind of the like same as the 7 sets of the Patimokchas, and exactly the maybe the same they practice, they take vow this one, and of course they are like kind of the going through the maybe it's related to the three Tripitakas and the subject matter of the discipline, samadhi, wisdoms. It's like same, they are follow the Buddha's path, and then base it is like according the Vinayanas, and more a discipline perspective, they like kind of the 7 sets of the Patimokchas that you knows now, yes, like when we say it's like first is a lay person, and the lay person is has true, yes, male and female, so, and this I think is you okay, then it's like it's not a kind of the gender, okay, it's according the vows. The we say it's a male and female. Yeah, there's like maybe the gender man and woman is not maybe like this, okay. This is like kind of the for example, maybe you take first vow is like early, maybe 1 month, you take vows after the 1 month as others, then first one is like more like highest, like because it's more old, more like you senior. You can try new and senior. Maybe it's more better to say like this, okay? And then is the lay person is like new and senior, or maybe then Gesser also there is uh, exactly the same, and also Gelong is exactly the same, two, and then is afterwards there's a Geluma, Genyin Geluma also two. This together is three. Last one, the seven is the like kind of the Nyenik Damba. I think Nyeni is like just 2 days, 3 days to take vows. Very easy way. Probably but this maybe you can to look there's the 7 sets of the Patimoksha's vow. It is like this. Just a simple. Maybe we don't need to detail them. Of course, if you detail, it's a lot. But 7 sets of the Patimoksha's vow, each connect to the individual liberation vows. Okay, individual liberation vows. Individual liberation vows is called the 7 sets of Patimoksha's vow. The 7 sets of the Patimoksha's vow. If you know that is interest. How much really the monks need to follow up the really, for example, it's like if you say the gesser, you gelong, and then it's how much they need to follow up this moral discipline. And moral discipline, like principally, like kind of the five, like there's moral discipline. Moral discipline is like a kind of lying, and like it's like how do we say killing, and stealing, sexual misconduct, and lying, and last one is the alcohol. This five is the really principal moral discipline, and this is the necessary. For example, it's a someone says the alcohol intoxicated things is maybe why Buddha said if you really to drink like you are not mad, maybe it's okay. The alcohol is just a food. The Buddha he give is permission like this food, okay, this one, not like this. Of course, someone say if you go and this then it's maybe it's very strong alcohol like this. Just like necessary times is this full like that is Buddha he give permission. At which kind of the benefit? It is like you if you drink you lost consciousness, and then you all your moral discipline lost. If even some good persons become very bad, and like this, in this case it is a benefit for ourselves like this. Then if you a little bit the 7 sets of the Patimoksha's vows, it's quite during the how do you say Shavakas, they taking this, Pachikas like this. Exactly, Bodhisattvas also they need to take this same Patimoksha's, 7 sets of the Patimoksha's. And then it's like this is, for example, maybe in the Mantarayana's perspective, there is the Ngokpa, like a kind of the, if you call the Rinzan, like kind of Ripa holders. Then it's a little bit, but this is like a very, very spacious way. Also, they basically like kind of there's some in the Patimoksha's vows. For example, to killing, to stealing these things is even you enter the Vajrayanas, you cannot do it. But Vajrayana practitioners, maybe it's like some in the perspective you become the mastery of your mind, and you become the mastery of your appearances. True, in you can control masteries, and also you can to say it's like according the authentic, authentic, very much according the Patimoksha's Vinayanas, like Sutayanas, like this ascetic practitioners, very much to clean, wash, it's like this. Then is the inner three tenters, like kind of the in Tibet is you onjure. Onjure means it's like I think it's in the beginning. I want to say this. I want to say to you. Maybe you can to learn. It's a like a, you can to say the page. Which number? Yeah, page 12. You look 11. Okay. 11. Maybe it's a 10th. Maybe it's a good. Yes, 10th. Okay, la. Like 9. The pages 9 pages more nice. There's third, classification of the 9 successive yanas. The 9 successive yanas, which is the found in the Nyingma, early the translation and the tradition. They made up to opposite. The 3 yanas relate to the outer vehicles of leading from the origin of the suffering, like a more antidote for the original truth, suffering, and the formation of the disturbed emotions. The 3 like pitakas, 3 pitakas or tripitakas, there's different. Maybe you can use tripitakas, you can take out the number of 3. Maybe it's the pitakas, yes, 3 pitakas of the characteristics. You can to memorize the 3 pitakas of the 3 like characteristics: Vinayana Pitaka, Sutayana Pitaka, Abhidamayana Pitakas. Yes, that's we already studied. And then you look, the 3 yanas related to the inner vehicle of vehicle. Asceticism and the 3 outer classes. There's 30 outer classes of the tantra. For example, like you can to say it's like inner 3 yana and the outer 3 yana, inner 3 yana. You can to say the secret yana is you can to say it, but normally like outer is like 3 yana, inner vajrayana, outer sutayana, inner the mantra yana. Okay, then mantra yana is like the outer 3 tantras. There is outer class of the tantra. This is the sometimes you can to confuse it. But here also you can to code in this 3 like outer, inner. You can to say sikut. Okay, sikut. There is says in the Dzogchen Rinpoche in the explanations. The asceticisms, they're like kind of you understand asceticism. That 3 yanas related to the 9 vehicle of the Vedic. This like Vedic is the very much Hindu language. Vedic asceticism means it's like, for example, if you, I mean, it's not necessarily, but if you follow up the triyas, it's so need to clean up, like a kind of code in the Brahmas. Like per day you need to take shower 3 times and to change clothes 3 times. A little bit dirty smell is coming, you cannot to practice, you cannot go to in the temple, like the asceticism. And also the upper says upachaya yoga is more, also it's like view a little bit yoga. Its action is like same as the triyas. It's very much like the connector both side, triya and the triya upper, and connecting like view is the yoga, conduct is very much triya, and also it's like very much asceticism. Then it's yoga tantras, also it's like you need to follow more, but a little bit lesser. Like in India, sometimes they say it's like Brahma, and then it's a very much clean. Then it's like one is the middle way, not very clean. It's a little. One is a very dirty, it's like a kind of, it's a city on the cemetery putting ash, and it's like a kind of the yogis, is the Vedic practitioners, is like sadhus. They are like a kind of the and they like huge these things. And this is a classes that is out. Then there is why I'm choose to telling you, okay, like this. Then there are three and related to the secret vehicle of powerful transformative methods. That is transformative methods. Transformative methods, okay? Transformative methods means poison you transform into the medicine, and 5 poisons you bring into the virtues. Maybe you killing, but it's transformative, means is you killing is become the positive. You add like kind of the how do you say, it's like consciousness, you can to make liberation. And you are mastery of your mind, your mastery of your appearances. That times you practicing this vehicle of the powerful transformative methods. This maybe you can to learn. It's very difficult to practice the inner center, which is the powerful transformative. What does it mean? That means it's like, can you transform poison into the medicine? If this case then really to take the poison to give this person, and then you can do whatever you do every day. You are like kind of killing, drink, eating meat, whatever you do. Okay, then you can do Dzogchen practitioner. It's a yes. Until there is like sometimes we say it's like I'm practicing like this. It's a little bit incorrect. In this perspective, Patimoksha, there are like 7 sets of the Patimoksha vows. You not necessarily. Why? Because maybe whatever movement, it is your path. Every movement is your discipline. Every movement is your samadhi. Every movement is your like kind of the understanding, the wisdoms. Then there is nothing kind of the abandoned, nothing to adopted. That is like kind of the transformative, okay, powerful transformative vehicle. And that you is like subject is like this. You realize that then is maybe not much depends the 7 sets of the Patimoksha vows. And until there is, doesn't matter you are Shavaka or Pachika Buddha or Bodhisattvas, you all the time is taking these really good practitioners. They need to take, but it's like you can't say I am not really monks as nuns, okay? I'm just lay practitioners. I want to be enlightened man, follow up the Buddha's path, and even you are like this, you cannot to do the killing, stealing, doing sexual misconduct, lying, and this doing too much alcohols. Impossible. If you do these 5 things, then how we can to practice the Bodhisattvas, like Buddha's path? And it's like, for example, we can do the killing obvious. And also it's like stealing obvious negative. It's absolutely against the Buddha's path, enlightened. Through this practice, killing, stealing thing practice, never be liberated. Then sexual misconduct, you are cheating to the, like you are already to combine at something, and then you cheating something like this, absolutely. Or you make suffering to the others, absolutely, it's incorrect like this. This is, it doesn't matter you are lay practice, you are harming to the others. And like this. And the liar means it's like kind of, oh, I realize that the Buddhas, or I talk to the Bodhisattvas, I understand all the Buddhas, I am a Dzogchen master, I am a Mahamudras master, I will teach you everything, I'm already Buddha. Maybe someone's believe you make, but inside you didn't check, you really teaching or not. This sort of like a kind of big cheating, big kind of making deceptive. And then it's like small things, it's like you never telling the truth. For example, how do you say, it's like if you don't tell, then the others hurting things them. Not necessarily, I'm often to say it's like for example, most times people to say it's like they never tell the to the, okay, if I'm sick, maybe I don't want to say to others. So this is your alliance, and not my individual. I have maybe in the my body, verb, mentally. There are something is like occurring, but okay. This is my responsibilities. My if why I need to tell to I says, for example, if you say it's like, oh, I have tail, I'm very shame. Do it. Not necessarily, even if you have a tail, okay? Tail, you can to seek it, nobody's hurting to. But if you tell like this, then more like kind of the hurting. Then they're talking, then it's like you are very much shamed, go, and then maybe someone's curiosity is, can we look at your tail, say like this. But not necessary. If you begin, if you know like this, you can to make secret what is harming to. It's not necessarily to this sort of different. Otherwise, it's like a liar means it's like someone's belief to cheating, and then it's like there's like tricky this taking care. That's one. Then it's also alcohol. Alcohol is just a small things is no problem, but sometimes we drink a lot. Then it's like how do you say the conflicting with your family and with your friend. You give very harsh word to others, and then it's not very good. Of course, absolutely drunk, then it's like no practice. And therefore, in the like a kind of the we say, so I'm not like monks and nuns. Really, it's like a Paishavaka Pachika Buddha, but I want to follow the Buddha's path practice. I don't care the Pati Moksha's vows. There is a vows. These things like 10 positive, 10 negative actions is a Pati Moksha's part. Like therefore, we say according to Buddha's the 3 Pitakas. Not Tripitakas, 3 Pitakas, and there is the moral discipline. Without moral discipline, never succeeded our realizations. That is the 100% sure guarantees. But it's like then there is the strong moral discipline, lesser moral discipline. It's just, like this. Of course, good practitioners totally. Even the smallest, they try to avoid killing, stealing, and like this sort of things. And then there is, of course, a number of the moral discipline coding the 7 set of the Patimoksha like vows. And therefore, I want to say it's like Shavaka and Pachika Buddhas are the same, yes? And then is I'm going to more okay. That is like Patimoksha's vows, and then keep them like a kind of the unpaired mistake, like pure, like really is like never. And then it's like a Ronjal, like a Pachika Buddhas is a little bit more high. It says you can to look, there's maybe if we can look, that's maybe more very good. There's 9 yanas. For example, when it comes to the base of the path and how to like they determine the view, the realized absence of personal self completely. That is the like kind of, that means they realize it completely emptiness of the partless particles. They don't accept it. Even the self, part like a part, partless particle. Partless particle means it's like the 10 chame, the 10 particles, chame partless, This one personal self, konzak dami. You look konzak dami. Konzak chudenti niente te parang oyo. That's all I did say. I'm not thinking about you, sorry. Okay, later, this maybe could you show to this part? Nyent dit nyentu tepa rongjel. Now we are in the rongjel tepa. Pachike Buddha. Rongjel tepa. Pachike Buddha. A little bit, okay? It's quite difficult for you, 100%. Sure. There is like a konzok dami. Okay, the absence of the personal self completed. Absence means the emptiness of personal self completed. C'est konzok dami yon so topatong. Konzok dami yon so tok says this self, like my body is really something existence, not existence. In English they say the absence. Absence is emptiness of a personal self completed. Absence of the personal self completed. Then there is negative things. But only realize that half the absence of the phenomena and identities. Identity is like the kind of the something there's. For example, they say this the beginning chuji da message the chuji da message zonwa the ten chame the demba mother but to hipake chi chame den the chuji da hits only on matters. And this is realized the half the absence of the phenomena identity, because though they realized that the partless particle of perceived object are not real, perceived, I think the object means the phenomena, like a perceived perceiver. Perceived perceiver is I think you already knows. Perceiver is the more mind. Perceived is the phenomena. Now it's like the self, like a personal self and the phenomena. And the personal self is only this body, okay? Not included the mind, consciousness. Only this body. According these bodies, then they have idea is I. This my body. I, where is the come from? And then it's like when you are like destroyed, realize the absence of the personal self, then your I is become completely empty. And of course, it's like Shavakas, like this I, this aggregates. There's a subtle, there's like a partless particle is you cannot to destroy it, it exists. Then the body, that maybe you say this one you can to say yourself, self, like a konzok, self. And then is like the then is the phenomena. Phenomena is like we can to say the self of the phenomena, self of the phenomena. There is like a personal complete. Then realize that there is the absence of the phenomenal identities. Phenomenal identity. Phenomenal identity means identity is like proof. For example, we talking about what is your identity. Your identity. Oh, I have my identity. In Tibet, Monkat. Monkat is like in Chinese Sifingtem. It is like a Toton Lakche saying the Toton Lakche in Tibet. Its identity is that is the proof yourself. Here is the phenomena. What do you have proof? Oh, this phenomena. Everything is empty. This kind of the identity do you have? Phenomenon. Of course, Shavaka, Pachika, Buddhas. Shavakas is like a kind of, this representative identity is indivisible moment of the consciousness, is identity of the phenomena. And like this is but then is here is like in the Pachika Buddhas phenomena identity. It's like they half realize it, half not realize it. That means to divide it, the perceived and perceive, like this. That means it's like consciousness included this phenomena identities. Phenomena is a consciousness is a phenomena. Then they like kind of the indivisible, the moment of the consciousness itself is the perceiver of the perceived object, and perceived object are not rule. There's no identity, because it's almost the same as the self, yourself, self, because particles, you cannot accept the partless particles. And then it's like a how do you say, it's like perceived object are the phenomena, like same as your body. You, everything is established absence of the totally absence of the identities. But the perceiver, this consciousness, is they cannot. Then it's like an indivisible moment of the subtle consciousness. Then they say that is the really Shavakas. It's the truth. Without that, and then it's like a cannot to. If there's like cannot accept the indivisible moment of the consciousness, then what? There is like it's something strange things. Then they accept it. Then there's they realize that the one is a fully self, personal self identity, absence of the self identities, and the half of the phenomena identities, they realize it as absence of the half phenomena identities, but half not, because they kind of accepted that this the indivisible moment of the consciousness. That is the like kind of everything is projector, outer, inner. Is like this is the primary cause. For example, we can one make a tricky thing. Shavaka has two primary cause, particle and the indivisible consciousness. Pachika Buddha's only one primary the cause. It is the indivisible moment of the mind, like consciousness. But there's no particle, like particle, how do you say? Particle, partless, particle powerless is not existence. That is like kind of the like a difference. There is like a realized the partless particle, yes, of the perceived object are the real. They still believe in the true what? True existence of the indivisible moment of the consciousness. There is, okay, we got it. Okay, then it's we can do Shavaka, Pachika, Buddhas. We compare. This is the follower or searcher of the liberation, and it is quite wonderful. Now we understood this both. It's like very much similarity. Thanks for the Dzogchen Rinpoche's these books, and one is a Dzogchen Rinpoche book, one is another Ling Rinpoche's book. Both is very. Then there's more detailed, probably translated or not. Dzogchen Rinpoche's 9 Yanas exponent. This is the really elaborated, very good. Dzogchen Rinpoche's Mohon Rinpoche's student, best student. Rinpoche's Dzogchen. Okay, that like this. Then now how they meditate. Shavakas, how they meditate, I forgot it. Shavakas is like more coding the 9 methods of the placing. Yes, are you sure? Yes, this connect to the Four Noble Truth. Now it's a Shabak Pachika Buddha's more emphasize 12 link of the interdependence. Okay, now he said that when it comes to their path and the practice of meditation, the uncommon approach of Pachika Buddha, there's a common, because uncommon or common. It is to meditate on how the 12 links of interdependent origination arise in their progressive sequence, and how they sees in the reverse order. It's a little bit not clearly, yes. And there's this the Pachike Buddha's main principal path, or how to rely on the Buddha's teachings, the 12 links of the interdependent originations, the 12 links of interdependent originations, the 12 links of interdependence of the origination. I don't know, even I can't to repeat again that. Probably you know. It's like someone says, do you know in English, the what it is, the 12 link of interdependence of origination? Of? Okay, or these interdependent originations. Interdependent is like adjective, and origination is noun. Yes, origination. Okay, and tender genius, attention there, attention there. This is like a more deep, wonderful. Of course, the emphasize they each other like this. For example, Shavakas, they more emphasize the Four Noble Truth, but Four Noble Truth is absolutely connected to the 12 links of interdependent origination. The Pachika Buddhas more emphasize that this 12 link of the interdependent origination, but the 12 link of the interdependent origination totally connected to the Four Noble Truth. There is the reality is like there's not really separate. It's like kind of the way of the expressions is like them. It's like, for example, in the Four Noble Truths consisted in the 12 links of the interdependence originations. And in the 12 links of interdependence originations consisted the Four Noble Truth. You can to check like that. And then it's like progressively sequenced. Progressive. For example, the Pachika Buddhas, no teachers, but they are the sake of the liberations. Then they are like kind of such renunciations for the samsaras, defects of samsaras. Then what they go to the how it is. They go to the cemeteries. They look at it's like a kind of the human bones. And then they got, how it is the human bone, skeletons, this come from? It's come from death. Where is come from death? Birth. Then like a kind of death is come from gosh. Gosh is come from old age. They like a kind of go back. And then it's like they meditating like this. Like sometimes like this clock way, sometimes go round. For example, sometimes you follow first the birth, like a beginning, what is the origination of the 12th link of the interdependence. Maybe it's like the ignorant, and maybe it's the formations, and then it's like a process, like kind of gradually more diluted old age form, and go process of the 12 links. Then finally there is the old age gush, like kind of the dying. Then it's become the bone. And if you like kind of the stop in order to stop the death, you need to stop the like gush. In order to gush, you need to like how to say old age. Then it's a go back. Then it's like if you are totally to stop the like ignorant, then the 12 link is stopped. And like this, then they can to analyze like again to could sequence like progressively sequence, and how they seize in the reverse order. Reverse order means it's like you go back. Normally it's the beginning. The 12 links of the interdependence, like you maybe is to memorize. Fantastic. It's like the start that is ignorant. And then there is like a kind of you can to memorize how it says in the our. Do you have Liz translation or in the get knowledge? Okay, it's like ignorant, formation, consciousness, name and form, six sensors, six sensors, sometimes different translate. Okay, six sensors, six, what is this? Six sensors. What are they? Do you know? Faculties. Okay, six sensors. Okay. Contact repa, feeling, torba, craving lamba, grabs like sepa. That is this. Okay, yes, sepa. Birth, yes. Old age and death. There is 12 exactly. But there is like old age, birth is like sometimes counted one. And but it's like beginning. You say it's like, for example, you say it's like the ignorant, yes. Okay, begin ignorant, and formation is the like the activity of the ignorant, and activity of the ignorant. Okay, and formation after. Third one. Okay, then is like consciousness means we can to say it's like ready to traveling. It's not kind of the like mind itself. Consciousness means mind is already to traveling. Why it is the traveling? Because it's like already arranged by the ignorant and the activity of the ignorant, and then it's like mind is given the name of the consciousness. Normally consciousness like kind of propelled consciousness, propelling consciousness, two type of the. But meaning is a consciousness means none is like, for example, you can to say it's like parents has one child, and then it's like parents are prepared for the holiday to the different child say now you need to traveling, and before the child you never call the like the traveler, but these parents prepared, and everything is a pack, everything's ticket, everything. Then it's like you need to go, then you are traveler, you traveling. This is like kind of, you said it's like consciousness. Okay, maybe easily to memorize. Ignorant formation is the main, and then consciousness, then consciousness after. Okay, name and form. When you are like kind of the, there's two things at the moment. So we have the name form is like this body, these faculties, and this like kind of. But it's like this travel is, for example, one is a place to other you arrive. At that moment there is the form and names together, and maybe we can to say to traveling something, consciousness go to arrive, there is that moment there is the form and the names, and then okay, then this form, name and forms itself has faculties. Okay, there you say it's a sensors, six sensors. What it says in Tibet? Can you read in the consonant? Huh? Xian Chitu. Xian Chitu se chingale. Xian Chi means is like, for example, like first times generated your eye sense, and you see the form, and then chit means xian. Chit means then you going to there, like to see the red, yellow color, like this. Xian in chipas, xian chit two six sense sources. sense is the faculty, is sources means going to, like maybe can be more generate. Okay, when your consciousness arrives there, then this consciousness itself has a form, name, a form and a name. This form itself has 6 sense sources, and okay, then like the more you grow up, you know, this body has feeling. Like this feeling means it's like then it's like you touch the repa. It's a repa, yes, yes. Contact is Tibet is repa, yes. Xianqi repa, yes. Okay, this is a contact. Maybe in the body we can do says body body and name, form and name itself has is like the 6 sense sources. And then you have a contact. Contact is like you have a feeling, you it's like feel. And okay, feeling, contact and feeling. Maybe it's like the 6 sensors you contact. Maybe for example we can to say it's BB. Okay, BB is like more you grow up, open your eyes, maybe just before the mother's womb, you open, you that times you have the 6 senses sources, you see the form, but maybe you haven't got like a kind of the feeling, but you contact. Okay, repa, contact means you see that something, everything's very clearly. Contact your conscious 6 sensors contact to the 6 object, but you maybe it's not much feeling. Then you grow up, then it's like this is a nice form, then start feeling is coming. Then okay, then very good. Now understand, you feeling to study is like, for example, tongue, like a sense sources. Afterwards this is contact, and then it's like a contact, then you like a feeling start, that delicious, not delicious, then it's a craving. And craving is in Tibet, which one is you can crave. Sekpa is 6, Sarasan of 6, sekpa, craving. Then is a lamba, I think it's then, what is it? Okay, grasping is a lamba. Lambas in Tibet. Lamba means it's like then is these cravings, and then after there is like kind of the searching to really to taking in yourself something. Like then, yes, then it's very good, because the Sepa Lamba is a really producer of the samsara. Sepa is a craving, and the Sepa is a how do you say, a craving. Lamba is what do you say? Yes, the craving and grasping. The craving, grasping. I have this strong craving, this cup. Then I is like grasping like this. And then you have very much craving to samsara, and according that kind of you have grasping, like kind of. Then this grasps sepa and lamba, the craving and graspings to make the again the rebirth. Then is the sepa. The sepa means what do you say? It's like becoming. Becoming is a sepa. Yes, in Tibet is sepa. Becoming means then is next. You can to say it's the next rebirth is already like kind of you produced. And
birth.
Yes, then is the birth. Then
Old age.
Yeah, then it's like after the lamba, and then it's birth, the old age, then is sickness, death. Yeah. Now it's like easily to memorize. There's principally the doer of the ignorant and formations. then it's like already made the traveler of the consciousness, and then traveling is arrive another place. There is a beginning, they have the form and names, like aggregates, forms, names. Then is a start, there is like the six sensors, but it's not maturated. Then the six sense sources to grow up. Then there is the rigpa, means it's like a contact. You contact it, and then is to more grow up. Not only contact, you have the feeling, and like this is the like kind of chorwa feeling. And then there is the ugly true things. This is the, is in the, we call the father and the mother of the creator of the samsara, craving and the lamba. In Tibetan, Sekpa and Lambas. Selenyagat is really is the creator of the samsara. Then is the Sepa Lamba, is the craving and graspings. Then is the produce, rebirth. It is the becoming. Becoming means it's a rebirth again. It's a Sepa, becoming. And then it's like you born, becoming, reborn, take, and then automatically old age. And then there the sickness, and then is the death. Yes, then it's more easily to memorize, isn't it? Primarily there's true things is like ignorant and his activities, and then mind is making already traveler, is called the consciousness. And then consciousness, this one is like during the, for example, now maybe it's like we are this too ignorant. That propelling consciousness, we are propelling. Propelled consciousness means next consciousness. This consciousness propelling to the next consciousness. That means like next one. Then they are working together. Then it's a consciousness. Then it's a propelling consciousness, propelled, traveling, go to the next. This one. Therefore, mind is a traveling. Then called the consciousness. And then you arrive in the other side. Immediately there's you have the form and the name. Form and the name. Minzuk Mindo Zuk in Tibet. Minzuk Mindo Zuk. Mindo Zuk. Ming is the maybe is like body's eye faculty, nose faculty, blah, 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 and like this kind of Ming and Zuk. Then it's like start to develop this six sense sources, and like a kind of the BB is maybe is very much like kind of there's this 12 links of the interdependence. Like one is like a moment, it goes together. One day is like it's to fully to goes. 1 month is like 1 year, like this. Also longer one is the you born, you reborn, next life, until there's one like cycles. Then, for example, we said like the like death, and then you again rebirth, and like this, and therefore, and this one is, I think today you the memorize very easily. I hope it's like this. Maybe you can a little bit. We can to stop. How much? It's until the 12 o'clock, okay? And then it's you can do a little bit yourself memorize. Very nice to we together to memorize. It's more easy than for myself. I'm very stupid person. Okay, I can to say that tender journey in Tibet. Every day I'm recite Om Dharma Hidata Hidan again Tadangata Hayo and the Dickens this mantra of the 12 link of the interdependence. And I'm recite every day, and also it's like talking about, but how are they? I said,